Most of us know not to mess with snakes. They're basically at the top of the food chain, and that's probably what has led to some snakes getting a little cocky. They aren't always gonna win every fight, and we've got proof of that. From a cat protecting her babies to a mongoose versus a cobra, here are 15 times snakes messed with the wrong opponent. Number 15. Cat protects kittens from python attack. Most mothers would do anything to protect their children, and that doesn't change in the wild for several species as well. A mother cat was sitting in a small dugout in a mound of dirt with her kittens when a snake approached. This could end badly, as kittens and even cats typically aren't a match for a giant python. At first, the python and the cat just stared each other down, both with their mouths wide open, hissing. Next thing you know, mother cat is launching an attack, all while her kittens look on in fear. She pounces on the snake, bites its head, and gives the snake its marching orders. Clearly defeated, it slithers away without anything for dinner. Cats can quickly become victims of snake attacks, but this fierce mother cat was not about to leave her kittens motherless, or see them be eaten. After all, young kittens are totally dependent on their mother for weeks. They don't even open their eyes until they're between a week and 10 days old. It then takes an additional 6 weeks for them to begin eating solid food, exploring, and learning to stand on their own 2 feet. Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell right now, or this centipede will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. Now, it's time for the star topic. Now, it doesn't take a genius to work out that this snake clearly messed with something it shouldn't have. It had been annoying this green tree frog when suddenly the frog had enough. It snapped and literally started eating the snake by swallowing it. Things didn't end well for the snake. Maybe next time the snake will know better than to mess with the wrong opponent. What do you think? Isn't it usually the other way around? Comment down below with the hashtag StarTopic and let us know your opinion in relation to what we just showed on screen. With that said, let's keep things moving. Number 14. Mother rabbit attacks snake. Eastern cottontail rabbits have long been on the menu of a black rat snake. In fact, they're on the menu of many animals, given that they're helpless, weak, and slow for the first weeks after their birth. It makes them an easy target for hungry cats, weasels, rats, and snakes. But one mother rabbit wasn't about to let all her hard work raising her babies mean nothing. At first, she wasn't around to see the snake trying to eat her babies. It wasn't until they started squeaking that she launches into the camera frame and immediately begins a vicious attack on the snake. She manages to get it out of the nest and then starts kicking it repeatedly in an attempt to disembowel it. And even after the snake moves away from her babies and seemingly admits defeat, that is not enough for the rabbit. She wants it gone. Over and over, she grabs the snake and viciously kicks it. Each time, the snake tries to slither away to safety. Maybe next time it'll know better than to mess with a protective mother's young. Number 13. Honey badger versus mole snake. Even though the mole snake isn't a venomous snake species, it's still a powerful constrictor. It can deliver some awfully painful bites. Once these become infected, they can result in the painful death of the wounded. If that were to happen, the mole snake might as well have been venomous. So when it sets its sights on, let's face it, quite an optimistic target, that animal's gonna do all it can to prevent being bitten. In this instance, the mole snake has chosen a honey badger, and it's not gonna end well. In saying that, the mole snake is off to a great start by targeting the badger's head, which is its weak spot. But the badger isn't gonna take the attack lying down. He's ready to tackle the snake head on. The snake, realizing its mistake, tries to slither away, but the badger is now fully invested in this fight. It keeps dragging the snake back to him, delivering solid bites. Eventually, the badger manages to incapacitate the snake with a powerful bite to the snake's jaw. It's game over, and the battle has been lost. Number 12. Mongoose versus Cobra. Mongooses look like weasels, and weasels are prey for many large and powerful animals like snakes, for example. But the mongoose isn't a weasel. They have long bodies and short ears, but they are primarily carnivorous with strong teeth that are more capable of taking down larger animals than you might think. So when you see a mongoose taking on a cobra in a fight, it's actually not clear who would come out the winner. In saying that, it might surprise you to learn that even a powerful king cobra can fall victim to a cute, cuddly-looking mongoose. In part, this is because most mongooses can handle a bit of snake venom, whereas many other animals can't. They happen to make a glycoprotein that binds to the venom's protein and prevents a small amount of venom from having a debilitating effect. That certainly works in their favor. So whenever videos are uploaded to the internet of these terrifying-looking cobras embroiled in battles with small, meek-looking mongoose, people are often in awe of what they see. It looks like an even battle to begin with both animals getting their bites in. But then, more often than not, the agility, strength, and sharp teeth of the mongoose make it the clear winner. Number 11. Mother rat saves baby from snake. Rats are small, but we've learned from past experience not to underestimate them. I mean, just look at how they devastated the world in Eurasia, North Africa, and Europe with the bubonic plague. Sure, a simple rat trap and some bait will sort them out today, but there's no denying they can be a force to be reckoned with. As it turns out, a snake learned that the hard way. From literature, we've learned that rats are the meal of choice of many snakes, but they sure don't go down without a fight, especially not when their babies are at risk. A video was uploaded to the internet that showed a mother rat in a full-on battle with what looked like a non-venomous racer snake. The snake had turned up to take her baby, which is odd behavior for the snake in itself. Typically, they'll eat their prey right where they find it unless they are disturbed. It looks like that might be the case. The mother starts grabbing the snake's tail while it's still carrying her baby in its mouth. Fortunately, the snake ended up releasing her pup before she chased it away into the long grass. Number 10. Python versus alligator. Why you would try to get into a fight with an alligator is beyond me, but that's what one python did, and it ended badly. The scuffle, caught on video, was captured at the Shark Valley Visitor Center in Florida's Everglades Park. It showed a python thought to be over 10 feet long, battling it out in the water with a huge alligator. I mean, this thing could eat a human whole for dinner. To be fair, it doesn't look like much of a battle. The alligator doesn't even need to try. The python doesn't look like it's trying to escape, except for the odd movement in the water from time to time. Within minutes, the battle is over and the alligator comes out triumphant. But what if I told you that snakes can win in fights with alligators? That actually happened at the same national park the year before. A 10-foot python was caught trying to eat a 4-foot alligator. A professional snake catcher had to come in and save the alligator, otherwise it might have been lunch. Isn't nature terrible? Number 9. Snapping turtle versus water snake. Snapping turtles live for around 45 years in the wild, and you don't get to be that old without picking up a few life skills along the way. When it comes to dinner time, they certainly know how to pick the most substantial meal. A photographer and videographer, Kerry B. Wicks, took some amazing footage on his GoPro above and below the water, which showed a half-hour battle between a large snapping turtle and an equally as large water snake. Originally, he had simply noticed a water snake struggling to climb onto a concrete slab out of the water. Curious about what was going on, Kerry put on his GoPro and started videoing what was going on. That was when he discovered the snapping turtle was eating the snake for dinner. tail first. It kept dragging the snake back to it until, eventually, the turtle pulled it under the concrete slab to finish it off. A snapping turtle's diet is pretty varied, so the snake was just unlucky that day. Alongside snakes, they also feast on plants, insects, frogs, small turtles, and small mammals, birds, crayfish, and more. Number 8. Iguana versus snakes. An iguana is moving along a coastline and everything is calm and as it should be. The iguana is just minding its own business. All of a sudden, a snake moves quickly into view, slithering along at great speed to catch up with what it believes is gonna be an easy dinner. But it just starts with one. The snake has brought its friends along, more than we can even count, and they all want a taste of that delicious young iguana. But the iguana's spidey senses were heightened and it sensed danger. Within seconds, it started taking off at great speed. It probably knows that even while they aren't that venomous, they will still smother it and eat it whole. But given that the iguana is so much faster than the snakes, it manages to scurry up rocks far quicker than the snakes and manages to get away. But the fight isn't over. Young iguanas are targets, and if it's not that one that'll be eaten, it'll be another. Snakes take chase at other iguanas, and one falls victim. However, many of the other iguanas are just too wily and speedy to be caught, and many of the snakes go home hungry. Number 7. Chicken versus cobra. If you were to put money on a battle between a chicken and a cobra, you would definitely put it on the cobra. A chicken is no match for something as fast, dangerous, and deadly as a cobra. Or so you might think. In this case, the chicken had a lot to lose. Her babies were at risk, and all the cobra had to lose was lunch. So the chicken managed to find some incredible strength that you may not even think was possible. When the cobra cornered the chicken and her babies in a small patio area, the chicken took action. She huddled her babies into a corner and set about launching a defensive attack on the cobra who was lurking around the edges of the area trying to get an easy lunch. Eventually, after minutes of fighting, the cobra obviously realized it wasn't gonna win. Let's be honest, there were probably easier lunches out there. So it finally got the hint and went on its merry way, leaving the chicken to continue protecting her defenseless young who would have never stood a chance. Number 6. Eagle versus cobra. One of the most preferred meals of snakes is birds. They're an easy target, hit the spot, and probably don't require a lot of effort to take from nests. But as it turns out, the roles can indeed be reversed when you try and take on a large bird. Photographer and birder Ramamurthy Karthik managed to take some incredible photos that showed a battle playing out between a spectacled cobra and a short-toed eagle at Saneri Lake near Walajabad in the Kanchipuram district. Ramamurthy had given up his IT job to become a full-time birding guide and had been waiting on an opportunity such as this one for 8 years. Over a period of about 10 minutes, he watched as the bird and cobra fought. It all began when he noticed the eagle swoop into view, spreading its wings out wide. Its sharp yellow eyes then focused on a spectacled cobra that happened to be nearby. The eagle swooped down, and while the cobra did put up a fight, it was clear the eagle had the advantage. It was game over before you knew it. Number 5. Hedgehog versus snake. Okay, so we're about to blow your mind. Have you ever seen a cute, cuddly little hedgehog scurrying across your backyard? When you catch up to them, they seem terrified, then roll themselves up into little balls of quills. They seem so meek, so mild, but they manage to hold their own to a degree because they are covered in such sharp little spikes. But what if I was to tell you that they can take down a snake? And what if I also said they do it all the time? I'm not lying. Both snakes and hedgehogs are most active at night, so we often don't see what goes down in the animal kingdom. As it turns out, quite a lot goes down. Hedgehogs are more than capable of taking down vipers, king cobras, and more. All they do is defend themselves by rolling into a ball, waiting for the snake to inflict injuries on itself with the quills. When the snake can no longer fight to its full potential because it's so injured, the hedgehog will deliver a powerful bite that crushes the snake's vertebrae. It will then eat the snake's head before spending several hours devouring as much of it as it can. Number 4. Spider versus snake. If you're scared of spiders, it's time to look away. What you're about to learn will probably make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Venomous snakes, harmless snakes, it doesn't matter. They can all be taken down by a venomous spider if it has enough venom, agility, and, well, a strong enough will. There are many videos online that show spiders hanging from webs dangling onto the backs of snakes who can't do anything to stop themselves from being injected with the spider's venom. It's basically giving them a taste of their own medicine in many cases. Sometimes snakes even find themselves caught up in a robust spider's web. This small inconvenience can give a venomous spider just enough time to deliver an incapacitating bite that provides the spider with the upper hand. Sure, some snakes manage to get away or even kill their attacker, but these often tiny spiders that look so much weaker than snakes can overpower a snake far easier than you might have thought possible. The worst part is that both of these creatures can take down a human. Here we are actually filming and taking photos of these altercations taking place when we could be next. Number 3. Scorpion attacks snake. You often consider the size of two animals when they're embroiled in a fight. The larger the animal is, the more capable it is of overpowering the other animal, right? Well, not in the case of scorpions. As small as they are, they're a pretty close match to snakes, and it's pretty surprising to see how they manage to come out triumphant in fights against them. I guess it comes down to how hardy they are, how they live, and what they're made of. Scorpions have tough exoskeletons that work a bit like protective armor. It stops them from being crushed, which means snakes would have difficulty trying to bite through them. They also hide quite well in burrows, which undoubtedly helps them to launch unsuspecting attacks on snakes. But if you were to watch them encounter each other in a desert environment, they don't just get straight down to business. There can be a lot of toing and froing, and not every snake and scorpion encounter ends in a fight of any kind. They sometimes just go their separate ways, realizing the battle isn't worth it. Number 2. Bobcat wins against rattlesnake. Rattlesnakes are venomous snakes that most animals know better than to mess with. But clearly, this bobcat, or lynx, we're not sure, didn't get the memo. Video was captured on a trail cam from Browning Trail Cameras and shared onto photographer Robert Martinez's Facebook cam, which showed the cat full of confidence taking on the snake. The fight went down in the Angeles National Forest near San Fernando, California in 2020. Initially, the snake is out of the shot, but it's likely just minding its own business. Then, the cat comes along and takes offense to its presence. Before long, a fight breaks out, and the cat and snake are in a full-on scrap. But all it takes is for the cat to bite the snake's head, and it's game over. It immediately goes limp. The cat doesn't appear to be all that hungry, though. Instead of immediately devouring the snake, it rolls around on the rock in what looks like an attempt to leave its scent in that area. It then casually takes the snake away before returning to the rock to laze about some more. Number 1. Leopard attacks python. In 2012, the Campbell-Harris family managed to capture some remarkable footage on the S1 near Skukuza in South Africa. A huge python is seen coming out of a body of water, only for a leopard to sidle up to it, likely curious about what it's doing and whether it's a threat. Before long, the leopard is trying to engage the python in a fight. I don't know if I'm just trying to compare them to house cats, but the leopard almost looks like it's just having fun with the snake. However, it launches a fierce attack with lightning-fast precision and clamps its sharp teeth around the snake's head. It drags it away before letting it go and observing what the snake does next. Fortunately for the snake, it looks like it does manage to get away, but it might think twice about even trying to engage in a big cat fight in the future. It doesn't look like they're all that likely to win. Now, if the snake was venomous, it might have been a different story. Instead, pythons tend to suffocate their victims to death, and they would have no chance of doing this to a leopard. I've always known better than to mess with snakes, but now I feel a sense of bravado after seeing just how many animals dare to take them on. Maybe we've just had enough of snakes being so scary. Have you ever had a less than ideal interaction with a snake? Tell us your story in the comments. Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.